Good evening, ladies and germs. This is Nick, Commissioner of the Pokemon Battle League, and you are joining me tonight for a match between the Mount Silver Larvitars and the Azalea Town Zed. He changed his city this season. So before we kick this off, just a quick look at those teams. The Great Wall up there, bringing their newly acquired Whirlipede. That's two things wrong so far this match. Let's see how many we can get. And then we have the Speed team. We've got a whole lot of speed with our Dragapult, our Durant, our Zeraora, and some decent speed still with the Darmanitan. So we're going to kick this shit off right about now. I'm going to tell him let it go. I'm going to drop that sound a little bit. That's a little loud. All right, here we go. We got the big hippo coming out and Lil Nepter over there. Now, this boy cannot baton pass, but he can set up toxic spikes. Team's not a huge fan of that. Spikes and toxic spikes. Okay, and we do get the whirlwind out, so he's forcing things out, but there are two levels of hazards up, one of which will toxic. Only one Pokemon is immune to it. Then that's Durant, who comes right in against the Comfey, which makes sense, but Lady Rainicorn does not want to stay into Durant here because a big Hustle Iron Head will definitely lead to a big KO. Marceline comes in, takes that Iron Head, but does take a big chunk. So we'll see if he stays in and takes the chance on that Hustle miss. And he does not. So Hippo comes in, does get poisoned. So that is a status on the side of the Larvitars from the Zeds. So we do have one toxic payoff so far. Not toxic, just one poison stay so far. Lady Rainicorn does come back out. She can Giga Drain, so Hippowdon is not fully safe here. So we will see what he does. He's really trying to break down the Zed's team with this hazard cycling with Whirlwind. So we'll see if it pays off. Heatran does come in. That is a bold switch, but does come in on Flirtus. So a big special attacker who is now poisoned. And Lumberry. That's interesting. So I'm guessing it may not have whatever that thing is called. Oh. Calm Mind. It may not have a status healing move for the team. We do have an Iron Head, so a physical attacker does have Synthesis. I'm assuming it does not have Aromatherapy, since it did have that Lumberry to cure status on itself. Alright, and Lady Rainicorn comes back in. Florges is back at full health and at a +1 in special attack and special defense, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. It is taunted, so can't use Calm Mind. And now Lady Rainicorn is setting up its own Calm Minds. Does get hit, does a nice chunk, and gets the special attack drop, which is big. We get another Calm Mind, so bigger special defense. Takes another one, and gets it again! That's two special attack drops right in a row. That's big. Draining Kiss does nothing in return. And Florges can continue with its Calm Minding. And the Calm Minds just keep going. And okay, we do not get a third special attack drop. And these Draining Kisses continue to do nothing. And it does finally kill Lady Rainicorn. So Flirtus is looking pretty good right now at 2 and 2 on that special attack and special defense. Fern does come in, so we have some possible big poison out, but it is not going to do that much against this huge special defense with a +2. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe it's a leech set, because that will definitely slow down Flirtus and be a problem for it. And yes, a big oof coming out. 30% Moonblast is 50%. Okay, Hippo does come out, and Hippo won't care too much about the poison, and it's already poisoned. And it does get leech seeded, so it really can't sit in here and do its whirlwind shenanigans because it is poisoned and leech seeded, so it's going to go down fairly quickly at this rate. Oh, and we get the Earth Power probably on a Predict, and he still whirlwinds. And let's see, does Leech Seed does go first, so Marceline does get a little extra healing before Hippo goes down. And now anything can come in nice and clean to attack Marceline. I think we have a pretty good chance of seeing the Zeraora come out. Maybe even Darmanitan. I mean, you could even have Durant come out. He will outspeed. He'll be able to throw out a nice big attack. Or Dragapult if he's not too worried about the poison on it. But pretty much any of the offensive Pokemon can come out right now, will outspeed, and will be able to throw down a KO attack. But losing a nice quarter of his health there. Fern does come out. It's going to Ooh, a bulk up. So we have a whole lot of setup going on this match. All over the place, but Zeraora is limited. So with these... Oh, let's see what the Z move is. Supersonic Sky Strike. That will pick up the KO on Fern. That's a pretty easy kill there on one of its actual weaknesses, since it doesn't have too many. But Zeraora's health is running low between Sandstorm, Hazards, and Poison. Flame Princess does protect. To block that close combat. So there is a couple good switches that he could still bring into this. Whirlipede really won't care. Mandibuzz, not quite enough to sack, and the Plasma Fist will finish it off. Unsurprisingly, it only had like 3% health, and that's a big KO right there. Nepter, I don't know how well it'll take this attack, even with an Eviolite. At +1, Zeraora may be able to just blast right through it. He uses Bounce, but he's... Oh, and he doesn't die to Poison. This is interesting. Will he survive the bounce? Be very interesting to see. He hangs on with a tiniest shred of HP, just that 1%. Let's see what Nepter does here. It's got a whole bunch of hazards up. It's gotten spikes and 2 sets of toxic spikes. So anything that comes in and is not already poisoned will be toxic poisoned. Flame Princess does come in, eats that bounce, and Zeraora will go down to poison. So that is an indirect kill for Whirlipede in its breakout match. So good on you, boy. We are currently at 4 versus 3, so we have a slight advantage on the side of the Larvitars, but with 2 sets of toxic spikes, anything that comes in is going to get toxic poisoned, except for Durant, as he is steel type. So Flame Princess is still pretty safe here. Darmanitan could come in and throw down an Earthquake, which would be pretty devastating against pretty much everything. He is toxic poisoned. He does take those hazards, so he is missing a cool 1/3 of his health, and the Protect does come out, so we're getting a bit of toxic stall here. But he is at just over 50%, but we're going to see that a Zen Headbutt is interesting. I'm assuming he was predicting the switch into either one of the other Pokemon. Another Toxic Poison out, so this is 4 statuses so far. 5 statuses. Nepter will survive that hit, does get the payback, which does not do all that much. But Dragapult will still kill with the Shadow Ball, and now it is 2-4, but the team is severely crippled. He can bring in pretty much anything and Protect right here. So if he brings in that Heatran can just throw it on to Protect, and Dragapult's going to die to Poison. Anybody else who comes in is not going to like taking that Poison, that Toxic status. Except for Durant. Durant could come in pretty free and then threatens Heatran pretty easily, even though Heatran could throw down an attack. So it is kind of a tough situation for both teams to be in. The Zeds can come in here and Toxic Protect for a kill if they so please, but on a switch they could be caught at a disadvantage. So it is kind of a ball in either team's court right now. We'll see who finally makes that play. And we'll see what the Zeds bring out. They only have 2 options, and they do bring out Finn the Dragon. Not the human, Finn the Dragon. But we will see what happens here. It goes for the double switch. So it could be a spec set, could be Choice Scarf if you want to be really weird, but now it is total free reign to bring in Darmanitan or Durant. Either one of them should be able to easily KO Flame Princess. As it did not protect, it can still protect and let Toxic whittle away at Darmanitan. Florges does come in, it will take that Toxic Poison, it will take both entry hazards. Iron Head does come out, does a nice chunk of damage, and does get the flinch, so that means Florges will go down this turn. If he goes for the Iron Head, it will KO. That is going to kill Florges, but again, the Larvitars can pretty easily bring in both of these Pokemon and throw down an attack. So right now, do you sacrifice the Flame Princess to a close combat? Do you take the risk on the Hustle Miss and go for an attack? It's still up in the air. Either team could still win this one. I think if the Zeds can get one more KO, Stomping Tantrum for the finish. So let's see what Finn the Dragon can do here. I don't know. I don't remember how much health Durant is, or Darmanitan is at, but he does not like coming into all those hazards, especially those Stealth Rocks. So Durant is at 50% health, can probably die to a... Ooh, he gets the flinch. That did do 43%, so he should survive as long as there are no crits. But the question is, can he get lucky twice? He can! That's gonna be a GG. Unless he gets the hustle miss, there is no way that the Zeds can come back from that double flinch right there. And that is not gonna miss, and that is going to pick up the KO. That is gonna be a match. So, quite a match indeed it was. Let me see if we can get Isaiah in on a call here. Where is he at in this list of people? So that match was definitely something crazy. We had a whole bunch of insanity happening. It really looked like Toxic Stall was the main strategy of the Zeds, kind of just trying to chip away at things. But it was not able to pay off in the end because Durant was able to come in and be immune to that poison, not really care too much about the hazards, and then could just clean up. So, alright, let's start a call with Isaiah, coach of the Larvitars. Hello, are you with us, sir?
I am.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you are quiet. Let me turn you up. Alright, I turned you up. Are you good? Are you here?
Yes, I am.
So how was that one for you?
Oh my god, it was a little nervous.
Was it what you were
was
planning
just
for?
Such a monster, and I had a difficult time prepping for that guy.
Yeah, so it looked like he kind of was planning for some Toxic Stall to deal with you, but you said no sir and did not let that happen.
No.
No.
Rolled right through it.
Well, especially Durant did not care about the Toxic Spike, so he was able to come in, take some of that hazard damage, but then able to just throw out a lot of big hits. Especially at the end, you did get very lucky with the double flinch.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I thought it was just like good revenge for that flinch that he gave to my Florges.
This is true. He did, because that brought Florges into death range.
Yeah, my goal for Florges was actually to heal off, get a calm mind, heal off, repeat that process, and then HP ground and see how well that stacks up towards the end.
There you go.
But that flinch kind of ruined that.
Yeah.
So I just prayed Durant, 80%, come on.
Yeah, and I saw that you were running Lumberry, so I assume you were not running, well, as you said, you were not running aromatherapy, so you were not going to heal your team, but you wanted to make sure that Florges could come in on some toxic spikes without being stuck with a toxic status.
Yeah. After, doing some mocks and calking, she survived very well between Heatran and even Venusaur. So the goal was to keep her alive, help get rid of Heatran, and then Komodo, and then Latios if he brought it. Originally we had Psychic on it, but I mean it was really just for Venusaur and Moonblast. I mean, after a while, did roughly the same. So.
Yeah, and those we were seeing what a +1/+2 Florges takes pretty much nothing from even a +1 special attack. It can take all of those hits big time. Yeah. And we also saw a lot of Hippowdon whirlwinding. So you were you were trying to keep the field fresh, not let anybody stick around for too long, and he had the same idea with that toxic poison.
Yeah. I actually chose that route today when I was, getting ready for today's match, and when I would use it, it threw off the person I was going with Mox against, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you should definitely just use that. That might just throw him off his game."
Whirlwind on Hippowdon, so like a big bulky Pokemon, just able to push things out, not let him set up in his face. It's a solid set to run. It can be a little bit annoying, but his team definitely did not like coming into Toxic Spike or coming into the Stealth Rocks all the time. So like Mandibuzz, it was taking big chunks out of it. Heatran was taking some decent damage, and anybody else who took normal damage from it didn't like coming in multiple times on them.
And that was actually the key for Venusaur with Z-Bounce on Zeraora.
Yes, we did see that those niche Z moves that things can get. We've seen some what was it? Somebody did like a Z synchro noise on Magirna to kill a Mega Venusaur in the past. So sometimes you gotta reach for those egg moves or just very odd moves to get that coverage that you can pick up those big KOs on big walls like Venusaur.
Yeah, Venusaur, Heatran, those and Mandibuzz were the three that I was like most skeptical about. Because I know Mandibuzz is like a really good wall for Dragapult. And then I
sense.
just previous, matchups with a Venusaur, I don't like it. Not at all.
Yeah, it has numerous times been a big defensive champion for this league, where it can just take hits and take hits and take hits, but can also dish them back. So you got to make those strategies to get a quick kill on it so that it can't tear you down. But good match, nice. It was a close one. It was still in there until you started getting those flinches at the very end. It was still definitely a chance that you could have lost it. If he hadn't flinched and he was able to get a Drain Punch off, he probably would have been able to kill Durant. And then, I mean, he still would have had to deal with the Darmanitan, but he was sitting at about 50%. He was going to lose probably about at least a third, if not more, of his health.
I don't know what his Komodo's speed was, but Zen Headbutt would have finished him off depending on his investments in defense, or I would have lost.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was going to be the roll.
Yeah, but hey, you got the flinches. Sometimes it comes down to some low percent hacks that can really pick up those victories. So who do you face next week? Let's look forward to week 8 just to get your final thoughts on that. See, week 8, it looks like you face off against the Dunsparce. So a team that has been somewhat erratic this season. He's been kind of all over the place. How are you feeling about that? He's got the big Scizor. He's got the big Clefable that everybody loves.
I think I'm a little comfortable with that now that I picked up a more offensive steel type, at least for Clefable.
This is true.
Lapras is a nice matchup for his Gastrodon.
Oh, there you go.
I would have to still look at his team to see, but I think I'm a little more comfortable than the last couple matches.
Yeah.
2 of them being losses due to my own negligence. But Evan definitely beat me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty clean one. But this match was victory. It will bump you back up in the standings a little bit. You do have a +2 differential on the match, so that will definitely help you in the standings.
All right.
Well, congratulations on your win. Thank you for talking to me. We will see how you do next week. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye. All right. That will be our feature match for week 7. Who knows? We might have another one tonight. We're having a whole bunch of them happen, and Showdown had to put things on hold while they were resetting servers, but we should be good for now. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a surprise one later, but otherwise, a thank you for joining me. We will see you guys either later tonight or sometime next week. Actually, we'll see you Sunday if we don't see you again tonight. So, with that, let's play us out with our PBL theme song.